Welcome to Talk Data to Me. I'm your host, Sarah Pellegrino. Joining me today is ASF Payment Solution and ClubOS's very own Nick Hahn, VP of Product. Every other month, we're going to bring you an insightful conversation around data points you should be looking at within your club management software and what decisions you can make with that data. Our hope is to make data spicy and fun and help you turn up the heat when it comes to revenue generation. I hope you enjoy episode 1 of Talk Data to Me.
Hello, fitness family. Sarah Pellegrino here, host of the Value Proposition by the Fitness Business Podcast and software and billing consultant, coming to you live with ASF and ClubOS's own Nick Hahn, VP of Product. Nick, welcome to episode 1 of our very own series, Talk Data to Me.
Hi, Sarah. I am so excited to be doing this. This is going to be a lot of fun. This series is going to be a great time. And I'm here and I'm ready to get jazzy on them.
I love it. 2022 is going to be a very big year for us. Every other month, we're going to bring you a conversation around data from ASF and ClubOS. We will be diving into what that data means, what decisions you can make knowing this information, and dare I say, we're going to try to make data spicy, right, Nick?
Oh, it is spicy.
That's right. Our first episode will be spent reviewing the 3 pillars of the new ASF dashboards. This is especially exciting for ASF customers and potential customers that want to know what key reporting features are available to you that are visibly pleasing. So let's jump in, Nick. Talk data to me. Walk us through what those pillars are.
Absolutely, Sarah. So the 3 main pillars are revenue, remittance, and memberships. Revenue helps you focus on your gross and net revenue. Remittance is all about showing you where your cash is and when it's going to get to you. And then membership, we dive into an overview of your current membership base, your new memberships for the current time period, and the churn memberships.
Awesome. And so, Nick, what is your favorite data point revealed on the revenue dashboard?
Yeah, absolutely. So that dashboard has a lot of great things, but at the end of the day, it's the simplicity that I really enjoy. The KPIs right across the top really help you understand the math to go from your gross revenue to your net revenue. And that includes everything. It includes the processing fees. It includes refunds that you might have given out, other fees, and miscellaneous adjustments that your staff might have made to members throughout the course of the month.
Very cool. And it's my understanding, Nick, that this is where customers can compare current month's revenue to previous years. So how are clubs using this data point to build their businesses back post-pandemic?
Yeah, okay. So that might actually be my favorite data point. So let's talk through an example. So if you're looking at the current month's data, let's say March 2022, there's a single chart that will show you the running revenue for that month compared to the previous month, so February, and compared to March of last year and March of the year before, 2020. So you're able to see these 3 comparison points, the 2 previous years and the previous month, that allows you to track where you're going for the current month. Our customers were obviously down in March of 21, which makes it more exciting to see this trend starting to bend back up to where it used to be. And since this is a visual and not just a KPI, you can really see what's coming in the month too. So for example, maybe last month you absolutely crushed the end of the month. So you know ahead of time that in order to match your same revenue for this March, you're going to have to put a campaign together to really crush the end of March.
That's super helpful. And Nick, when we're talking about looking at previous year's revenue, I'm assuming that you can go as far back as you have been an ASF customer. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes, you can ultimately go as far back as you want. In order to keep the visual simple, we start with just the 3 previous years, but then you can change your time periods also as far back as you've been a customer with ASF.
Really cool. So my billing brain loved the chart that showed effective billing rate by payment method and add-on revenue by type. So explain to us how these data points help club owners best run their businesses.
Sure. So post-COVID, we are all very focused on reducing costs. I love the transparency that's provided by these dashboards. They really try to show you the effective rates of each payment type in the distribution of those payment types across your membership base. So I was working with a customer to dig into their January revenue since it was a little softer than they had hoped. And we ultimately found out there was a cost cutting opportunity for them because they had a surprisingly high rate of revenue coming in through statement based billing, about 5% of their revenue coming in through statement based billing. The processing rate for those transactions are higher than even a credit card, let alone EFT transaction. So the customer was able to start reaching out via Club OS to those customers to encourage them to switch over to EFT, even by offering a discount at point of sale.
Very, very cool. I love that example. That's great. So, Nick, dashboard number 2, remittance. What do we need to know about this?
Well, cash is king. That is, at the end of the day,
Yes.
And that's what this dashboard is all about. It helps you keep track of the cash coming into you. So it's one thing to have the revenue, but you need the cash in your bank account. You can check every morning to see what of the revenue that you've collected is still outstanding to be deposited to you. And it also tells you the aging of that collections. People like my father, who's a finance geek, love that dashboard. It's a great way to keep track of that cash and make sure that you can pay all your bills on time.
Pretty important.
For small business owners, that is the most important dashboard.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. So now pillar number 3, which is membership. There are 3 dashboards that we're going to talk about, correct?
That is correct.
All right, so I'm diving in because my favorite part of this dashboard is that it shows you active, new members, canceled members, expired members, and net new members. This is such an important data point because club owners always have struggled with net new, understanding that even though you sold X amount of members this month, you lost Y amount on the back end, right? So in your opinion, why is this pillar and why are these 3 dashboards so crucial to business operations?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head right there. That trend's so important, especially with the ebbs and flows we've been going through with COVID. We've seen a lot of months where customers have sold their most net new memberships ever, especially in the last 6 months or so. But so many of their existing members have froze or canceled. We have one key account that's I don't know if it's a good example, but it's an example of it. Like it kind of is unfortunate for them that they've been going through it. They're in a region that has had a slow recovery from COVID. It was already a soft market. The market was softening before COVID. COVID certainly didn't help. But at the same time, it's a very competitive market. They've drawn a lot of outside interest from larger chains. So January was the first month that their net membership was actually positive. But at the same time, that net membership growth was only 10% of their gross new membership sales. Our customer success team has been working with them regularly to help them dig into preventing such a high volume of memberships from walking out the door on the back end. There's one location of theirs that was massively pulling down the totals, and we were able to show them that in a very easy summary chart that included all the possible factors. So we were able to isolate, here are all the options of things that could be going on, and it is net freezing. It turned out that the number of freezing at that one location was higher than the number of new members they were gaining. And that's just the freezing. That doesn't account for expiring members or cancellations at all. It was just the freezings that they were offering.
Wow. Well, that was a good find.
Yeah.
I'm sure they really appreciated that.
Well, yeah, and it turned into a great coaching opportunity for their team to try to dig into why someone's freezing.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be having that many members freezing, especially when they have other locations in the same region that are not having that same volume of freezing.
Yeah. No, that's great. So let's chat new memberships. What is your favorite feature of this dashboard?
So I think the answer to this question depends on what state you operate in and your contract model. So if your business is heavy on open-ended memberships without a term, then the trends of which type of memberships types have been selling is the best data that we provide on this dashboard. However, if your business is more focused on driving term contracts, then this dashboard lets you see the results of experimenting with which lengths are most appealing to your customers. Gen Z and millennials seem to be afraid of commitment. That definitely is a trend I've noticed. They rather pay for 10 different streaming services without commitments than be locked into a 2-year agreement with a cable provider, for example, even though they're paying more. And this dashboard lets you validate if that a trend applies to your prospects also. When you pair the term lengths of your agreement with the average membership length, you might be able to increase your long-term revenues by having more open contracts.
I was going to say they have commitment issues in other areas, not just their gym memberships.
That is true.
I said what I said. Awesome. So another interesting feature on this dashboard, Nick, is new membership upgrades. So how are club owners using this data point to their advantage?
Yeah. So upselling existing customers is just such a lower cost way of increasing your revenue stream. The member's already a qualified lead. They're already interested in going to your gym. They already like your gym. For one reason or another, they do like it. We see on average, customers will upgrade about 5 existing members for every 100 new members that they're bringing in the course of a month. But the highest performing customers are doing at least 10. So at least 10% of their new memberships are upgrades. And it's really easy to focus on that and try to build your interactions to help drive and increase the engagement with those members.
I was going to say, in a time where people are struggling to find new members, right? That's so easy. You have these people that already love you. They are already your members. Sell them. That was always my favorite thing to talk about. Upsell your existing members.
Upsell, cross-sell, get them on higher membership type, get them on add-on services, get them buying smoothies after their workout. All those different things help drive that revenue.
Wow. Well, Nick, bring us home. What is our last membership dashboard that we're going to cover today?
This one's the almost the sad dashboard, but it focuses on churn, which is not something you want to have, but it is a reality of business. And this is where you can drill into the root causes of why your net memberships for the month weren't meeting your expectations compared to the gross new memberships.
My favorite part about this is the cancellation reason, right? So seeing in one concise place in a visually pleasing fashion why your members are leaving you. So how do you think this is helping club owners understand why their members are out the door?
Yeah, so first, and this kind of goes without saying, but it is important to train your staff to ask for that information when they're canceling. This is a feature that we have that is not used as much as I would like. Too many staff members are just processing the cancellation without tracking it. But then once you have the data, drilling down into the differences in cancellation reasons across your membership types and your membership tiers can help give you a lot of insight into what's happening. Perhaps a lot of your membership, your premium members are canceling because they are trying to cut costs. We should be encouraging your staff to try to retain them by offering a lower tiered membership without a commitment. Maybe you take them out of the commitment and you put it at a lower tier and say, hey, try it for another month. That way you keep making your progress and see if they change their mind at that lower price point. Another thing to check that I see very frequently come up is the percentage of your membership base that's relocating. Does it match the typical movement rate in your area? I do find it odd when I'm talking to a customer, we look at their data, and their relocation rate in the month of January is higher in the spring, when typically the spring months is the house buying season. So that's another thing to coach your staff members into. Okay, you're saying you're relocating, but are you relocating to another gym? Is that what's really happening? And just to dive in to make sure you're getting a good idea so that you know what your competitive headwinds are.
Oh, that's a great point. Where are you relocating to?
Do we have a gym near you?
Yeah, exactly. Now, Nick, with these dashboards, if I want to run them by location, by age, gender, when applicable, is that something I can do?
Yes, of course. That applies to the churn dashboard, the new membership dashboards. Both of those tie in all that demographic information. One interesting thing that we found in this area is that back in January of 21, over 75% of new memberships were under the age of 40. And in January of this year, that number has dropped down back to closer to where it used to be, to about 70%. Before COVID, it was in the 55 to 60% of the memberships were under 40. So that's a great thing. We're seeing the stabilization of the member demographics across our clubs. We're also seeing the churn rates start to stabilize also. And you want those churn rates to follow the same age distribution that you have within your membership base. Otherwise, potentially you're alienating one of your demographics if they mismatch each other.
That is a spicy piece of information, Nick. That's awesome. Any other data trends on your radar? What else are you keeping an eye on?
I think the trends related to gender are important. Making sure that you're trying to have as inclusive of a gym environment as possible. There are pockets of underserved communities that I think it is important to make sure you're not skewing towards one demographic or another, because there's only so far that people are willing to drive to go to a gym. So you only have so many possible members. If you're alienating an entire demographic, be it age, gender, etc., from wanting to go to your gym, that's potential revenue that you're losing out on.
Absolutely. Now, Nick, with these members that are leaving for whatever reason that may be, right? How does ClubOS fit into aggregating data in this fashion to help get members back?
Yeah, absolutely. So knowing the demographics you were most successful in selling and retaining should really help drive your marketing and communication strategies. So let's say after watching this, you check your location's demographic mix and realize that you don't have as many female members as you expected, right? You really should be surveying and talking to your current female members to understand what they like most about your gym. Their reasoning might be completely different from what you expected. That's why you got to have that conversation and send out that survey. Then you should use that feedback in your communication to female prospects. In one case, we found that due to having a kids club at the customer's location, the female members tended to purchase a premium membership that included the kids club, but the males tended to purchase the value membership. So based on your audience, market the right membership. Don't even spend time trying to advertise to females that you're only $9.99. That's not what they want. Hit them with the information about the kids club and your kids offerings. Talk about how convenient the hours are, how it can match into and work with their schedule. And then segmenting that in your communications with your prospecting flow really helps the prospect feel that they can find a home at your gym.
100%. That's what we want at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Well, Nick, thank you so much for walking us through the 3 pillars of your new dashboards: revenue, remittance, and memberships. We talked about 5 different dashboards within those that are favorites that you're just knocking it out of the park with. So in your opinion, why are these visually pleasing dashboards just so much more popular than basic reporting features that we're having to run?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately knowledge is power, right? Gym leaders know how to run the play, but it is impossible to keep track of every little detail of what's going on in the day-to-day, especially once you have multiple locations. Having clear summaries consolidated across all those sources of data really helps make the operator's life easier.
Absolutely. So if you had to pick one data point that you want every single club owner to look at right now, we're in year 2 of a pandemic. We are recovering as an industry on the uptick here. What are we looking at?
Net memberships. Where am I today and where am I going to be tomorrow? And how can I stop leaking members out the back end?
Good to know that's still relevant. That data point hasn't changed. I love it. I love it. Nick, what is one business decision you are hoping that these new dashboards can help club owners make?
Yeah, so we see that it is extremely hard for members to incorporate going to the gym into their daily habits. This last January, some clubs had as many as 40% of new memberships checked in only once in the month. When your membership base isn't on a term contract, it's important to engage new members and really help them develop a new habit that includes you in their life. Very often, members hype themselves up, and it's like, all right, tomorrow I'm going to the gym. I'm going to sign up. I'm going to crush my goals. I'm going to the gym every day. I'm doing 2 hours a day. They go too hard, and it's not sustainable. But a good member onboarding communication flow can really help with that. There's a sweet spot of personalizing the follow-up, personalizing the outreach, and personalizing the email campaigns that you send out to new members to encourage that habit building. The first few emails that you send to a member should really spotlight unique features about your gym, all while giving them digestible tips and encouragement. You want to help your members build that habit one step at a time.
I love that. That's so important. Plug Club OS.
Yes, the Club OS is great at helping you do that.
Yes, that's fantastic. Awesome. Well, so Nick, any existing ASF customer has these dashboards readily available, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. If they are not using them, who can they contact to start using them today?
They can contact their account manager, or they can just send an email to our support team, which they have access to when they log in through our application.
Perfect. And any potential new clients that are not using ASF and they want to know a little bit more about what you've got cooking over here, where should I send them?
Yeah, absolutely. They should go to our website, asfpaymentsolutions.com. They can always email me, nick@asfpaymentsolutions.com also, and I'll be happy to get you in contact with the right people.
Nick, thank you so much for joining me today. It's such a pleasure to spice up our data conversations and bring this important conversation around data to the fitness industry at such a crucial time. So I will chat with you in a month, my friend. And to our listeners, you can expect another Talk Data to Me series out in May 2022. Bye, guys.
Bye.